Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Sam. So guys, today we have the Apple MacBook Pro with the M5 chip. This is a 1TB 16 gig of RAM, and this is the 14-inch laptop. Trust me, I'm going to be letting you guys know in this video if this is worth your money or if this is even more than what you need, because if you're a creator or someone doing day-to-day activities, don't worry, I got you in this video. So let's dive into the first thing, which is the design. Honestly, the MacBook Pro still kept the same premium aluminum build from Apple. There's not much difference with the design. It still kind of look the same, and always feeling premium. And that's one thing I've always loved about Apple. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Honestly, this laptop still feels like one of the most best premium built laptop out there. It is not light. It is kind of still comfortable when you're carrying it around, but it is kind of heavy. Trust me, the MacBook Pro, if you have a MacBook Pro, you know how heavy this is. But yeah, it's still very premium, feels really good. And I just love the design, and most especially this color.
Now with the display, this is where Apple always goes crazy. You are getting a 14-inch Retina XDR display with ProMotion, and in simple terms, the screen looks insane. The colors are super vibrant. The brightness also gets really high, and the 120Hz refresh rate makes everything smooth. Watching YouTube, Netflix, editing videos, everything just looks better on this. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Once you get used to this display, going back to a normal laptop feels like a downgrade. And also, you've got a very smooth hinge. The keyboard feels solid, and yeah, you've got that backlit keyboard, so using it at night just feels clean and easy. And the trackpad is still one of the best in the game, like zooming in, scrolling, navigating, everything just feels smooth and precise. It's one of those laptops that just feels expensive, because it is expensive. Alright, now let's talk about the main thing, the M5 chip. This is where this laptop becomes a killer beast. In real life, this thing is fast, the apps open instantly, you can have multiple tabs, apps, everything open, no lag. The video editing, it is smooth, exporting, it is quick, and if you are into content creation like me, this laptop just makes your life easier.
So there's one thing I just want to put out there. I'm going to be very real with all of you. If you're someone who does schoolwork, or maybe you're someone who just, you just watch YouTube, you do a little light work, and you're thinking of, oh, I just want to get an expensive MacBook, I just want something premium, well, you can still go for this, but you probably don't even need an M5 MacBook, because this thing is a beast. It is overkill, so it is kind of too much. But if you're someone who creates content, if you're like someone who work from home, you work in the IT, you work in tech, and you need something for like coding or something that does a lot of heavy work, you don't want something that lag, you want something that is just just fast, multitasking is fast, opening applications is fast, then it starts to make sense going for the M5 chip MacBook. Because when you get a MacBook like this and you're just using it for like schoolwork, well, you can do that, but you're actually not, you're not using the laptop up to its full potential. So I would say try going for like the MacBook Neo, or maybe like a MacBook Air if you're someone in school. But when you need something bigger, something doing heavy work, then I suggest you go for the MacBook Pro with the M5 chip.
There's one other thing I noticed about the MacBook Pro. The battery life is another big win. This thing just lasts. You can go hours, hours, without even thinking about charging. And once you get used to that, you don't want to go back to carrying chargers everywhere. That's one other thing I really love about the battery life. It is, pretty good, and it lasts a whole day. And when it comes to the storage, 1TB is honestly perfect, especially if you are filming, editing, downloading files. You don't have to keep deleting stuff every week. And trust me, that gets annoying fast on lower storage, because I remember when I used to have a 128 gig, I'm always deleting my stuffs every time. And when you have 1TB, you are just less stressed, and you just focus on keeping your footage and just storing more of them. And also, the speakers are loud and clear, the camera looks good for calls and content, and for the ports you've got HDMI, SD card, MagSafe, everything you actually need. And this is something I like. You don't need a bunch of adapters just to use your laptop.
Yeah guys, so this is the camera of the MacBook Pro M5. It has a 12MP camera and kind of really nice, like pretty clear. Trust me, this is all you need for like FaceTime, Zoom calls. Like, what else do you need? Trust me, everything is clear. You can see me, you can see the background. Pretty nice. So I think the camera it's a good one, trust me. Yeah, so guys, so this is the truth right here. This MacBook is very, very expensive. If you're using an M2 or an M4, it is definitely worth the upgrade. And also, if you are going to be using it for high-end tasks. But if you are just someone doing a light work, this is not something you should get. This is an overkill. It is a beast. It is too much for you if you're someone doing light work. But if you still want something premium, I want to use a MacBook Pro M5, yeah, you can go for it. But if you are someone creating content, editing on the go, this is what I would recommend for you. It is definitely worth the price. And you know, I've been using it for a couple of days now and I've fallen in love with this laptop. You know why? It makes me productive because whenever I open my laptop, everything is just fast. I love the vibe, you know. And if you're someone who's into the Apple ecosystem, trust me, you're gonna love this. So the MacBook Pro M5 chip, it is worth your money. It is definitely worth every penny you're going to be spending, and if you are someone who is even using it. So if you stayed to the end of this video, don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, subscribe as well, and drop your thought about the MacBook Pro in the comment section. And you know, as always, I would see you in the next video. Peace out.